All right, I'm going to use a clip, just a quick clip of Mr. Howe here, and I'm just going to copy it, Control C and paste it. Doesn't matter that it's the same clip. You guys will obviously have two different clips in your recordings. I'm going to put them on two different tracks, one on video one, one on video two. And the first thing I'm going to do is I know I'm going to shrink these down. So rather than just shrink the entire thing down, I think I'll get rid of the extra stuff so that Mr. Howe still stays pretty much the same size. Well, as close as possible anyway. So I double clicked on that clip and I'm going to go to crop. Okay, and I'm going to crop the top some, and I'm going to kind of pay attention to what number I use. So if you notice the slider over there where it says vertical is changing, and again, everybody's is different. I'm going to keep mine a nice clean number of 50 so that I can remember on my next clip that I used 50 because I want to make them the same. So now I'm going to move my left and my right, and the same thing. I'm going to kind of just sort of figure out what I want in general, and then I'm going to look at my numbers here and make them sort of so I can remember them. You can just write numbers down, but for me, I'm just going to try and keep them real simple. So maybe something like 342. And again, it's a combined thing, by the way, not a it's not important what's on the left or the right. It's what's on the combined the total. So if I add the left and the right together, it looks like I'm at 500. I'm just keeping it simple, 500. So it's not the perfect number by any stretch. I'm going to hit save. You can't move this around, by the way, and your numbers should still stay the same, okay, as you combine them. So I'm going to save changes. I crop one now. I'm going to double click on the bottom one, and again, crop. Go ahead and bring my 50 to match. Sometimes it's hard to get the exact number. You might get 49. I don't think anyone's going to notice 1 pixel, but you know, get it as close as you can. So now again, I'm looking at 500 here, so we want 36, 36, right in there. That's pretty close. Moving it to kind of center, and that's it. Save changes. Okay. So now I'm going to just move one over so I can, verify that there are actually two here. So get out of the crop. Be careful because this would still crop. Go back to transform, and if you notice I shift that over, I can see that there are indeed two images. Okay, now they're still way too large, so I need to shrink them down, and this time I'm going to use the scale. All right, so I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to go to my scale, and you're just going to have to experiment with this. I'm going to go with 0.7. 0.75 might have worked as well, but for me, I'm going to go 0.7. Go ahead and do the other one there, 0.7 as well. Save the changes, and now I want to make sure that they're in the same position, and I also want to make sure a couple things, that the spacing on the left and the right is fairly similar, which right now it actually is. I want to have a nice little gap here in the middle, and I want to worry about my my height, that it's the same, right? The top and the bottom should be lined up. Clearly they're not right now, and there's an easy way to do that. So let's move this over. Now I'm going to use my arrow keys rather than my mouse, and I'm going to move it down just so I'm eyeballing it so it's sort of matches what the other one is. But I'm also going to look at what my Y is. If you notice, I'm pushing the up arrow, my Y changes, right? Up and down arrow. So that is your height, right? Your up and down there. So I'm going to hit save changes on that. I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom one. And I remember my Y was at 220. See, it's at 229. So I just move it so that it's also at 220. And then this is why I'm not using my mouse. It allows me to make sure that I control just the X or the Y, not a combination of the two. So again, I'm just moving this in place, verifying that my spacing left and right is fairly good. I have a nice little gap there. My Y positions are the same. It looks like they are here, and that's it. We're done.